What's going on, everybody? I am Jesse Goku, the host of the the Geek Survivor channel, the Geek Survivor podcast, Monday night, the Monday Trash Talk panel, the Wednesday Power Hour, the Saturday night Terrible Fan Fiction reading, and host of many other panels that we host at conventions. This isn't a normal introduction because today is not really a normal circumstance. Joining me always is SJ and Keyblade Sonic. They are the co-hosts for the Wednesday Power Hour and the Friday night Geeks 5 Ever regular podcast that we do every week. The Power Hour is every other week, and it's usually an hour. The Trash Talk panel is usually just me and Ken, but yesterday was a special episode, and it ran for 3 hours, and it ran pretty long, and threw off my schedule. And we talked. It was a very controversial episode, but unlike the other very controversial episode that I did on a Monday, where I went a little overboard, and I tend to go overboard when I'm by myself, but this one stayed up, and I'm going to leave it up for reasons. Even though I admit that I went a little overboard. I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said or anything that I did. There's a reason why I acted the way I did. I'm not going to apologize to the individual, but I would like to extend an invitation to him. If he sees this or if he's watching, if you would like to come on the channel and talk, we can talk to you. I'm going to be really respectful with you on here. I'm not going to insult you or call you names. I might disagree with you and I might give my point of view, but at the same time, I'm going to be like, okay, listen, sir, I'm going to treat you like customer service. With that being said, I did make that post in case somebody that knows him would let him know, if he would like to come on the show and talk about it, because I think everyone. Okay. So for those of you, let me go to the comment section, but yeah, so thank you for joining me, SJ and Sonic. Thank you once again. By the way, a quick shout out to Sonic, who just reached a very big milestone. He reached 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Thank you very much.
Before we begin, we like to express that the opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the other admins or sponsors of Geeks 5 Ever. If you have any complaints whatsoever, you can feel free to email us at geeks5ever@gmail.com. Remember, this is for mature audiences only, may contain strong language, adult themes, extreme sarcasm, and lots of BS. It's not on there, but that's a stock photo I stole from Google. So, we didn't know if we were going to do this today. I had mentioned something at 3 a.m, but I was not even up until SJ had messaged me, hey, I'm ready, let's go. I was like, oh, I guess we're going to do it. I was just,
you could have said no. I was just like,
I was just thinking about food. I was like, man, I haven't eaten today.
Yeah, I just ate too.
I'm going to eat right now.
Go ahead.
Somebody has already canceled discounted Chris Sabat. So for those of you that didn't see yesterday's podcast, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are watching today saw yesterday's podcast. So I got into a not an argument per se, because I don't feel like it was an argument. If you look at the screenshots, I'm arguing with him. I'm just trying to make a point. And it's in the later comments, it does feel like an argument because it's going in circles.
Like an escalator.
Mm-hmm. It kind of did, because I'm like, so if I dress like a gang member and I'm speeding, then the cop should shoot me then, right? Because
by his logic, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. And honestly, I just want to get something out of the way. He did what is it? What am I trying to say? He did post a status update, I guess trying to discredit. I mean, he's like, I'm going to read it out loud to everybody. I had to read it 3 times, but even then I kept blacking out. Like, what? Did it get taken down?
What?
Did it?
The what?
Our post, did it get taken down?
No, it's still here.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. I don't know why it wasn't popping up the first time. So let's go ahead and share that. I know it's a really rough day. This is normally our day off. Let's just put it out there. This is normally the day we don't do shit. Yeah, it even says it in the caption. You know, it's
More like-
Tuesday, right? Why am I here? It's my day off.
More like we prepare for, depending on which week, we prepare for the power hour and all that stuff.
Right, absolutely. Been thinking over this over time and leaving here after slanderous attacks by the podcast known as Geeks Fiber about my views on Black Lives Matter and kneeling. All of this after I shared a WWE video featuring no kneeling during America the Beautiful, with the host calling me a racist just because I disagreed. Well, now after talking to a couple of good friends of mine, I was contemplating on quitting Facebook and cons, but after a good talk with them, I'm not going anywhere. Thanks to them, I'm standing up to Geeks 5 Ever and their cancel culture tactics on my post about America the Beautiful. While I did mention gangs, I did not say I ever hated black people. I acknowledge that while there are very bad criminals of color, and as a Hispanic man, relationships between Hispanics and blacks is very complicated with attacks on street vendors and other heinous attacks that sometimes happen. I do know that there are good people of color out there online and in the real world. Speaking of the real world, to G5E, one day you'll get canceled yourselves. Your tactics of shaming me and trying to cancel me will not work. You, along with those who support canceling people because you lack a backbone and have thin skin, think that everyone's racist. Soon your gatekeeping will be the downfall of you. I have friends that tell me that anyone can go to a con and be on Facebook without fear, or from you or anyone who supports canceling people for different beliefs and branding people who don't agree with you as racist are the biggest haters themselves. Look in the mirror. Who's the gatekeeper now? Also, calling people racist is getting old. Soon it'll lose its meaning. You think that playing the race card will solve everything? You got another thing coming. Your opinion won't matter in the real world if you step out of that bubble of yours. The dog and pony show won't last, as one day people will wake up and see that using cancellation won't work. And to my friends, I thank you all for your support. Never once have I said I hate certain races of people who pointing out problems with the communities faced within. Besides police brutality, the world may not be perfect, but we make positive changes. And that starts with pushing out gatekeepers such as Geeks 5 Ever and other gatekeepers from both sides of the aisle. Now, we never said, I guess we got to address some of the things that we said. And
might as well break it down what it based each section and all that.
Right. So, okay. So, let's actually begin with looking up what does slander even mean? Spoken defamation, also known as oral or spoken defamation. Slander is the legal term for an act of harming a person's reputation by telling one or more other people something that is untrue and damaging about that person.
Right. And you were quoting specific posts that this person had written, an actual conversation you guys had in writing, and you were just reading that off. So I wonder if that's also like, if he would have argued also libel, but it's not but yeah, you were reading that off because I read those screenshots too. And that was word for word what was said. You weren't just trying to remember exactly what he said. You were saying this, here's the picture. I can't show you the picture, but I did post it here and I posted it here and I'm reading it off of my computer here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's already like that. You can't even use slander as an excuse because that's not how slander works.
Hello, Jessid. Hello.
Let's not shift focus. No disrespect to the fans out there or your comments. Let's just keep,
No. I'm just saying hello.
I know, but
But there's that, and then the whole thing about us being calling people that have racist views out, and that's gatekeeping now. It's like, well,
that's kind of
like a weak thing to stand on. Like it's almost like saying if we tell people that if we told the people that try to grab underage girls' butts at conventions, they can't come in and be here, that's gatekeeping. It's like, yeah, for the safety of everyone involved. Why would we want the creeps that go around groping, women and girls and younger, and even some young boys and stuff? I'm not saying that sexual assault doesn't happen to guys as well. but conventions are notorious for that kind of. And so if we said, hey, you're not allowed to be here because you have been caught numerous times grabbing at people, is that gatekeeping?
No.
That's
that's doing the
Yeah.
right thing. That's, for the safety of other people,
right.
And
Let's
it's
even.
like,
Sorry,
no, go
on.
ahead. Oh yeah, I was
So,
gonna
like-
say. Fuck. Sorry,
We're
I'm
so
sorry.
bad at this.
No, it's just it's like pretty much like it's like in the movie theaters, like, oh, do not sell to this person, or like at a grocery store, at a store, and like being banned from a store because you did something you were not supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. That was the next thing I was exactly going to bring. Like, I remember going to a restaurant. I think it was a Mexican restaurant somewhere on like Broadway and Park Place, whatever that is. And I remember noticing like there were signs of people that had dine and dashed, and they have their pictures up there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, this person is not allowed back into our facility because they dine and dashed. And I was like, yeah, is that gatekeeping? You did a wrong. You were technically caught, and now you're forbidden from coming back. Same thing if you're caught shoplifting. It's not gatekeeping to say like, oh, this person can't come into our stores, because you're being punished. You did a bad, you have to deal with the consequences. You can't just say whatever you want and expect to be okay with it, or expect everyone to be like, oh, well, freedom of speech. No, you can't go into a crowded theater and say fire. That's
Right. Well,
illegal.
okay. Let's just stick with the topic at hand, actually.
Sorry.
So the comment here is right. At one point, did Goku ever say something that he would cancel or gatekeep in his responses?
Correct.
The words did come out of my mouth. The word gatekeep and cancel did come out of my mouth, but not in that context. I was like, okay, look. And I literally, you can go back and you watch the video. I literally say multiple times, look, we're not trying to cancel this guy. We're not trying to gatekeep him. We're not trying to kick him out of the community. Someone, if you're friends with him, please go fucking talk to him. Go help him. Help this man. He needs to be educated. He needs to be informed.
And that was another thing you guys brought up, the whole oh, he has like disabilities or something, or and
well, no, we never. And here's the thing. Let me stop you right there. Okay. And somebody brought this up in the comments. We never said he had disabilities. We just said that, look, we said that, look, I don't want him or anyone else to use the word or use disabilities as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
We don't know if he has disabilities. We didn't say he had disabilities.
Right.
It's just because I have to stop you there, because before somebody takes it out of context, like Sonic normally says, like, people will misconstrue information.
Right. And also regarding the whole, the disability thing, it's just we brought up Momokun, who used a disability as an excuse.
Right.
And since,
that's not how that works.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why that's what pretty much was Goku was trying to say. Like, you can't, use the disabilities like that, especially like that's nothing to do with whatever that person did,
right.
Sexual harassment, and groping somebody, and ADHD. That makes no sense.
Right. And at that point, we weren't just talking about him. We were just talking about in general, because the problem with the podcast is that when we talk, we're not just talking about him at certain points. Like, at certain points, it is specifically about him, but at a large portion of the podcast, it's in general.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, people do use mental disabilities as an excuse. Now, we're not saying this guy has mental disabilities. That's not what I said. I don't know if he does. If he does, that's one thing. But if he doesn't, right. So just to recap, everybody, I got into an argument yesterday with somebody who said something about this all happened because of a WrestleMania post. Everyone,
right, so
I know. Would you
like me to just explain the whole thing, basically what he was referring to?
Please.
Okay, so all right, this past weekend was WrestleMania. All right, They did a 2-night show. So the first night was the first thing they did when they got on the air was they had all the wrestlers, all the staff on the stage. The first thing they did was the chairman, Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm. He basically was welcoming people back because this was their first big crowd since the pandemic. And he was welcoming people. Hey, welcome to WrestleMania and all that. And then they start off by they were playing America the Beautiful with the people on stage. However, they did the second night, they almost did the same exact thing. They played the America the Beautiful, but there was no one on stage. So basically, this person assumed that since the wrestlers and the staff on the stage were not kneeling and all that, he was pretty much saying that, I don't know if this is correct, Goku, that the NBA and the NFL should take notes. This is how you handle it and all that stuff.
Like nobody kneeling, everybody standing for the national anthem. Leave your politics at the door.
Yeah, which kind of doesn't make any sense because first off, they play the Star Spangled Banner at the NBA, the NFL, etc. In the WWE, every year at WrestleMania, they play America the Beautiful.
I was going to say America the Beautiful isn't even the national anthem.
Right. No, that's my bad. Because he says, and I should have screenshot it, but he does say national anthem, but in the response to us, he says America the Beautiful. But he did say this is how you do the anthem.
Right.
Because he was bad-mouthing kneeling.
Yeah, right. So basically, I guess in a sense, he was trying to say like, oh, why can't they? Basically, he's trying to say based on what I saw, that he thinks that the wrestlers, the way they do it, should be an example to what the NFL and the NBA players should do when the national anthem's playing. But you gotta understand, they have a right to do that. That's like basically, I don't know if my apologies if it's going to be all messed up. And I was like, that's like saying, like when the whole, the protests were going on during the summer, all these people were saying, they were telling the players, hey, why don't you just shut up and play basketball, shut up and play football. And I'm like, dude, that's disrespectful. They're human beings too. They have a right. They have rights like you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and absolutely.
I guess that's based on what I'm saying. And also when you like to bring up race too, who was the host for WrestleMania? Titus O'Neil, who was pretty much their ambassador, and Hulk Hogan, a self-admitted racist, by the way. And every time he talked, he got booed because he deserved it. Let's be honest. You loved it. I fucking started laughing when he got booed because people know, and actually some wrestlers in the back actually had concerns when they brought him back.
Yeah.
Most of them voiced their displeasure. Like, okay, yeah, he apologized, but that was not a sincere apology. He only apologized because he got caught.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what happened.
Right. 9 times out of 10, these apologies are not, I'm sorry, I will change my ways. It's, I'm sorry that I did it on a platform that millions of people have access to.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like, that was pretty much literally what Hulk Hogan's apology was a few years ago. He goes like, well, you got to be careful what you write online or what you post on social media, what you say. Because I'm like, dude, that's not the point of the apology. You're not supposed to apologize for that. You're supposed to apologize for what you said about a certain race. Like that was so messed up of you, what you said.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, I didn't even bring up race. I commented, and all the comment says is, you do know the point of kneeling, right?
Right. It's just like for me. Well, sorry. It's just I had to like just to give people context, like what all this started.
You're fine.
No.
But like, I'm also shedding some light too.
Yeah, go
because
ahead. Sorry.
we mentioned the topic of race, but I want people to know that I wasn't the one who brought up race. This is literally, and I'm showing you this.
Make it bigger.
I'm going to in a minute. Give me a second. How do you zoom? How do you do anything on this thing? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is. Can you see it better? Oh, nope. Oh wait, it doesn't zoom in on there. Damn it! All right, let me try something else.
While we're waiting, But on that side note, I find it interesting that after you sign that $1 million contract to be either a sports player or same thing with Hollywood, to be a movie star or a TV star, all of a sudden your opinions are null and void, even though you're still an American citizen and you still are a person and you still have thoughts and feelings besides playing your sport or being in film and TV. I find that so interesting how that's always like, oh, sports players just go and play basketball. Oh, movie stars just go and act in movies. It's like they're still American citizens, people. They're still allowed to have a say in what goes on in our country and in our society nowadays. I don't know when
here
that
it
was
is.
revoked.
Here's the so TJ from the Blacktail podcast in our comment section yesterday, Don had joined us. This is I posted the picture of what we're talking about. We talked about it yesterday. We're just going over what was said last night about us being called gatekeepers, and we're trying to cancel this individual because we're part of cancel culture, which is not the case. If you watch last night's podcast, you will hear me say that, get this fucking man some help. But here's the first, this is my comment. It says right here, you do know that the point of kneeling, right? And he says, word for word, a middle finger to cops and military and the anthem, while ignoring what's going on in Chicago and other areas where black on black crime happen. Kneeling means you hate cops and want criminals of color to do whatever they want without cops. Tell me that does not sound fucking racist to you.
It's racist, it's ignorant, it's tone deaf. That is not at all what kneeling means.
That is, the way the last two that SJ has said, tone deaf. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to say it, to describe it that way. Because, it's not because we don't like cops. It's because, there's other factors, it just, It's very tone deaf of what he said.
And look, and here's my response. No, it is supposed to be a sign that we cannot support a place or system that hold the lives of people of color in such little regard. Also, when a white person or a brown person commits a crime against their own race, we don't call it white on white crime or Latino on Latino crime. It doesn't say it on there, but I had only used Latino on Latino as an example for brown people. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are brown that are not Latino. We just call it crime. Also, we have to acknowledge the fact that there is a problem in the country with some. I'm so stupid for not screenshotting the rest of the comment, but I actually brought up the Army lieutenant who was pulled over by the police and was held at gunpoint.
Right.
And I was watching that video recently. It's rough, and it's just like, I don't know if, it's just, I don't know, man.
But going back a second, and I know a lot, even in some of the comments, a lot of the comments are in some of the things y'all have said, fuck cops and everything. And I want to specify, like, fuck the bad ones. But something he said was like, yeah, it's a middle finger to cops and the anthem and da-da-da-da. Well, okay, with what happened with this lieutenant specifically, and going back to the Capitol riots, these guys, what happened at the Capitol riots was specifically, most of those people are on every other day. They're generally Blue Lives Matter. But where was the Blue Lives Matter when they were at the riots? Because there were reports of somebody actually saying, like, someone take the cop's gun and shoot him. And we know there were at least two, I think there were about 2 deaths related to the Capitol riots.
I think there were, it was about 2. I don't remember, because I know, talk about a double standard,
Right.
There was like little to no protection, but when there was a Black Lives Matter protest in the summer, there were all these riot gears and all that pepper spray and all that.
Yes.
So it just makes you go.
Definitely, there's that double standard, but also but also same thing. Here's all these actual fascists and QAnon people and everything protesting the results of the election, a fair election that we had.
Also, I wanted to add something too. The day before, there were protests the day before, and even some of them were clashing with the police.
Yes.
So I'm just like,
yes.
So Blue Lives Matter, right?
Except when you're in trouble.
All right. So
and then support the military, except when it's someone that the cops are pulling over and they have pepper spraying for some BS and threatening them like you should be scared. Like, what the hell is that?
I want to like go ahead and I want to get to the point because one of the comments like, man, get to the point. It's one of our comments. We are going to get to the point. We are actually just doing a recap for those of you that are just joining us today that weren't on here last night, because last night's episode, our numbers were really high last night.
It did get people talking,
and it's got people talking. So we're doing a recap, and it was really like, even for YouTube, we don't do a lot of traffic on YouTube, but last night we did a lot. Like, we did a good number. I know like 40, 50 people is not a lot to a lot of people, but when you don't focus on YouTube and you're more focused on Facebook, that's a big deal, because it, and we lost some likes. We actually gained like 2 new ones, but whatever. That's not the point. This is the comment that really, really kind of threw me over the edge. And he's talking about the lieutenant, the one that was pulled over. Keep in mind, he is talking about the lieutenant. Obviously, based on the context of this comment, he must have not known what had happened, or he didn't care. I don't know. He probably didn't know.
Either of the two.
Right. So he says he was likely paid by the Black Lives Matter. By the way, TJ, would you like to come on? Would you like to shed some light if you have some time or an opportunity? We're not going to be on here very long. We're probably going to be on here for like less than 30 minutes. Probably. We're not going to be on the whole day. I got shit to do today. But I just, like I said, we're just trying to get to a point. He was likely paid by the Black Lives Matter to create a scene to hate cops. Also, many cops are retiring from their jobs because they are being abandoned by people who want to give special rights to criminals of color and Antifa. Would you rather pay protection money to gangs to protect you from criminals, only for those gangs to beat you up for your money?
What cops are retiring? I don't understand.
I don't know. I really don't give a shit either.
There are actual, let me shed some light on that. There are actual cops who are retiring because of all this, because there is a lot of cases where some cops who have like nothing to do with all this, they just can't handle it anymore. They just want to retire. They just want to quit the force because they just don't want to deal with this, and that's happened like in a lot of big cities.
Well, that's unfortunate if you're a decent cop and you don't have records of excessive brutality and all of that, and complaints of conduct against you. We need the good guys. We need to get rid of the bad guys. I know that is a problem. There's a comment on here on like, no, if you have 3 bad cops and 2 bad cops and 2 good cops that don't say anything, you have 5 bad cops. That is accurate.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
That's very accurate. But again, the whole bottom line is reform. It's the same thing with like in cases in the military where there's retaliation if you report something is against the code of conduct. There should not be retaliation if you're trying to bring forth that, hey, here's this person, doesn't matter if they've been on the force 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. If they're not doing proper conduct, if they're not exemplifying that protect and serve, because last time I checked, that badge does not say protect and serve unless you are this, this, and this. It just says protect and serve. If you're not exemplifying that, then you shouldn't be on the force. You should not have a gun. You should not have the tasers. You should not be able to evict somebody's soul from their body.
Yeah, right. Protect and serve my ass. Protecting the rich and serving up heaping hot ass whoopings to the poor.
Well, again, right. And it doesn't say that on the badge. So it should be just protect, period, and serve.
It should say look out.
End of story.
No, right. and look, I want to get to the point. Like, we were just doing we were doing a rebuttal, doing a recap, and this is what really, like, okay, so last night, I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. Last night I tried to be nice. I tried really, really hard. I did not say his name almost the entire podcast. I didn't show the screenshots because they weren't edited. I tried my absolute best to keep this grown ass man's name off my show. Right. Then he blocks me. Then he posts shit like this, calling me a gatekeeper, calling me a So he didn't say it on there, but he's pretty much calling me a social justice warrior who's trying to cancel culture him. Excuse me, sir. I'm not trying to cancel you. I'm trying to help you because you have a shitty train of thought when you say criminals of color want to get rid of cops so we can run around and be criminals. Why couldn't you just say criminals?
Right.
Why does it have to be criminals of color? Like, oh, I didn't call you racist. I said it sounded racist.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you word it better if you're not racist? It says it right here. I'm not racist, but Hispanics, and he's like, it says, oh man, I'm having a hard time reading it. I can't read on this little ass screen.
It's okay.
You have it on your phone. You can just read it off there.
I have it on my screen. He's like, I acknowledge that while there are bad criminals of color, as a Hispanic man, relationship between Hispanics and blacks are very complicated, with attacks on street vendors and other heinous attacks that sometimes happen. Not really. I mean, yeah, sure, there are some awful things that happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But don't make it sound like black people and Hispanics or Latinos are at war.
Right.
Don't make it sound like we're out there killing and shooting each other on the streets. Don't make it sound like we absolutely can't stand each other, which is not true. There are legitimately people, black people and Latinos, or just brown people in general, that believe that we've gone through a lot of the same trials, maybe not the same, but similar trials. Yeah. We are going through shit too. Like, we live in a country where people fucking hate us and they think we're a plague.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say shit like people of color, people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, that's fucking racist, dude. That is racist. I'm not saying you are racist yourselves, but your fucking message was that of a racist. Now, you don't even apologize for saying the bullshit that you said. Not only that, you kind of fucking backtrack because some of that shit, he says, been thinking over it and blah, 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 attacked by the podcast known as G5E about my views on Black Lives Matter and kneeling. You literally say, like, that it's a middle finger to the cops.
Right.
That it's a middle finger to the troops. That it's a middle finger to the national anthem. Because we want a country without cops so we can run around and kill each other or commit crimes or steal or, you know, whatever. Like, what kind of shit is that? Look, not everybody agrees with the group known as the Black Lives Matter, and that's fine. We have nothing against you for it.
Mm-hmm.
We say Black Lives Matter. We have the hashtag on our channel. We have it on our page. Why do we have it? Because we do believe that Black Lives Matter. We believe all lives matter. I believe that all life is sacred.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, it's kind of hard to describe, but like, right now, there's a lot of hate towards people of different races. If there was a hashtag Asians Lives Matter, I would have hashtagged that shit too.
Right.
Is there?
Well, it's Stop Asian Hate.
Right. We did hashtag that one. We even hashtag that. We hashtag Stop Asian Hate. We hashtag Black Lives Matter. But people don't want to see that. They don't want to see the good that we try to do. Listen, sir, you can call me an asshole, and I am an asshole. You can call me a piece of shit, and that's fine. I don't fucking care. I don't care. But when you call out the entire group like that we have no backbone, I'm sorry, but these are my friends, and I'm going to stand up for them. Look, I don't hate you, but I don't like you.
There's a difference.
Okay, I don't want to see you kicked out of the community. First off, and I'm trying so hard to be tame right now. Because everybody told me, dude, you need to chill. Look, man, I'm... God damn it.
Trying his best.
I am trying really, really fucking hard because
technically that's libel. That this person saying that we said gatekeep and cancel and kick him out of the group. That's not what we did. That's not what's done. You can watch the whole 3 hours. It was never said in that context. So that's libel right there. That's a written lie.
He's pretty, and like, it's like what TJ said in the comments. He said that, he's pretty much twisting the narrative.
Yes.
And like another thing, like he was mentioning, I was thinking about quitting cosplay and face. Like, no, the cosplay has nothing to do with this.
Right.
This is like, nor delete your Facebook or nothing. No, it's just like,
no one told you that either. We're just saying.
It's like
TJ, like if that's what you. No one said any of that. We're saying all anyone's been saying is you need to have a second opinion. You need to realize what actually is going on. You need to just take a second, step out of your box, try to be in somebody else's box and understand what that perspective is.
It's like that old phase, like, oh, you won't know until you walk the mile in my shoes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. Just real quick. I just want to. First off, you attacked me. I don't care if you watch this or if one of your friends watch this. Okay. If anybody knows who we're talking about, his name's on the fucking stream. I can't even begin to pronounce it. Some Hervey, whatever. Hervey fully loaded. I don't know. Look, I don't know how to fucking say his name. So if you're like, oh, we're going to cancel you because you butchered his name. Well, first off, I don't know how to say his fucking name. Secondly, like if you actually watch me when I read some of the statements, you notice that I skip over words that I can't fucking read. So fuck you. But if you see this or if he sees this, let him know. Let him know. Motherfucker, you attacked me first. You attacked me. You were like, oh, well, when you support weakened police and well-armed criminals, that means you support a lawless society where Bloods, Crips, and biker gangs and other criminal scum roam free.
He said that was shown on the screenshot. He did comment that, by the way.
No, right? I understand that part, but I'm like, where did that even come from? That is so left field.
Because I said because I had said, because I was actually arguing with him at that point, like, because I said, you were talking about defunding the police. I'm talking about reforming. There's a huge difference. Yes. Also, allow me to get this right. Well, that was a little controversial. But allow me to get this right. If I dress like a gang member and I'm speeding, which is considered breaking the law, the cop should just shoot me.
Right.
Instead of providing a ticket or like
because
a citation.
Or a warning. Yeah.
Because I support Black Lives Matter and I hate the police. So they should deal with me. The police need to be reformed. I never said defund. I said reform. They need more training. They need special training. They have shot innocent people by mistake. Yes, the police need to be reformed because they do not know how to deal with autistic citizens.
Correct.
They don't know how to deal with citizens that have mental disabilities.
Correct.
They don't know how to deal with citizens with disabilities at all.
Correct.
They are literally a militia who are taught to, like, take you down and enforce a law, and they hide too. I don't want to get too much into the police fucking situation, but look, if anyone of his friends watch this, you tell him to come on my podcast. This is my podcast, and I want you on it so you can share or shed some light on your train of thought. But I don't want you canceled. I didn't want you canceled. I didn't want you gatekept. First off, you're already part of the community. You're older than me. And I'm already old as shit. Secondly, I don't care if you're part of the community or not. This community is vast. Yeah. I'm not going to go to the con and look for you. Oh, is that punk ass here? First off, and if I see you at the con, I'm not going to walk away from you. Yeah. I'm not going to talk shit to you. I'm probably just going to be like, because I have bigger shit to do. I have bigger fish to fry. I got bigger things going on. I have bigger issues. And I just found it you're a parent just like I am. We have kids. I have to raise my daughter to know right from wrong, to teach her to be loving and accepting of everybody's point of view, not just her own. I have to teach her that all life is sacred, that the police have no fucking right. to do what they do.
And another thing, we also want people to, we want people to like, feel safe, not be scared of police when they get pulled over and like that. They don't want to be feared for their lives. And like
for a
Don,
traffic stop,
like Don said yesterday, like how he said he doesn't want to be in a situation where he has to tell his mom, oh, this may be the last time I'll see you, or goodbye, love you, during a traffic stop, because most people are feared for their lives. People say, oh, you shouldn't, if you didn't do anything, you shouldn't be scared. Well, some of these people didn't do anything at all. And, some of them may not come out alive, or some of them may get hurt or anything like that. That's, that's pretty much what it's about.
Like Breonna Taylor, she didn't do anything wrong.
Look, when I got my Kia Soul,
is that what I got
my Kia Soul? What was it? Rihanna Taylor.
Rihanna Taylor.
Yeah, she got shot during the.
She got shot in her sleep.
Yeah, because they had the wrong address and a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't entirely have the time to go for. But
here's an example. Look, I had gotten my Kia Soul. I had a temporary license plate. The car wasn't under my name just yet, but I got pulled over. The car wasn't registered to me. They literally put me in handcuffs because they didn't think the car belonged to me.
Right.
And I was in a small, shitty town with the population of whoever's in your fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And another side note, too, about that. Also, regarding earlier when we brought up the lieutenant, he got pulled over because he didn't have a license plate on his car, on his SUV, but he had a temporary one taped to his window, and it was shown on the dash cam, on the body cam footage. So just keep in mind on that.
Wow, I'm looking at the comment right now.
Yeah, same. Lexa's been leaving some awesome comments.
Look, the issue is we're accused of, okay, there's another part of that statement that I want to get out of the way. All right, I'm gonna read the next two paragraphs and then we'll talk about them. Thanks to them, I'm standing up to Geeks5E and their cancel culture tactics. Whatever, bitch. At this point, I'm starting to like not give a fuck anymore about America the Beautiful. While I did mention gangs, I did not ever say I hated blacks. Never said you said that, sir. Acknowledge that while blah 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 criminals blah blah. I do know.
No, just read the whole thing, Goku, because if you say it like that, it's gonna look really bad.
Okay, all right, you're right. Sorry. So thanks to them, I am standing. Actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and show it. That way, nobody.
Yeah, just in case, just read it.
Show it and then read it.
Just let him catch it up and all that.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I probably need to zoom in. Thanks to them, I'm standing up to Geeks5E and their cancel culture tactics. On my post about America the Beautiful, while I did mention gangs, I did not say I ever hated black people. I acknowledge that while there are very bad criminals of color, and as a Hispanic man, relationships between Hispanics and blacks is a very complicated attacks on street vendors and other heinous attacks that sometimes happen. I do know that there are good people of color out there online and in the real world. Speaking of the real world, to Geeks5E, one day you'll get canceled yourselves. Your tactics of shaming me and trying to cancel me will not work. You, along with those who support canceling people because you lack backbone and have thin skin, think that everyone's racist. Soon your gatekeeping will be the downfall of you. I have friends that tell me that anyone that can go on a con and be on Facebook without fear of reprisals from you or anyone who supports canceling people for different beliefs and branding people who don't agree with you as racist. The biggest haters themselves. Look in the mirror. Who's gatekeepers now? Also, calling people racist is getting old already, so it'll soon lose its meaning. Out of all of that, I don't care if he calls me a gatekeeper, calls me social justice warrior. He says that we have thin skin, no backbone, whatever. Those are all targeted towards me. What really gets to me the most, though, is what he says. Also, calling people racist is getting old already. Soon it will lose its meaning.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
I think my brain broke.
Do you want me to be? I'm sorry if I have to say this, but that sounds something like a person who's very prejudiced and very judgmental and very tone deaf would say. That is not the word. I don't know. I think he should have proofread this before, because what he's saying there, that's a big yikes.
Again, tone deaf. It's, and just like I like what Lexa said in the comment. Maybe you won't be called a racist if you aren't racist. Like, no, yeah. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, it's not a fucking chicken.
Well, that's the thing, though. He was walking like a duck. He was
Exactly.
quacking like a duck.
Yeah.
But I still called him a jackass.
You were at least trying to be polite, and then they went straight to duck, and it's like, well, then don't be it. Like, just don't be it. Yeah, you don't want to be labeled this terrible thing. Don't do the terrible thing. It's not rocket science. I don't understand. Everyone who gets called out as a racist gets this. It's like, well, if you hadn't said this racist thing, and if you hadn't supported this racist thing, and you hadn't been this racist thing, you wouldn't have been called a racist, guys.
Yeah, perfect example, since he likes to talk about America the Beautiful at WrestleMania.
Oh, please.
Hulk Hogan.
Please. Yes.
You want to know why he got booed? in his own hometown, by the way. He got booed. He got noticeably booed.
Oh, is that where that was? Okay.
Yeah, in Tampa. And
nice.
When he started talking, people booed him. And it's like,
wait,
yeah, because people know.
Tampa, Florida? Florida.
Yeah, because they lifted everything. Well, here's the thing. To be fair, a side note, they actually had people sign waivers saying, oh, if you get COVID, we're not responsible.
Are you serious? I would not have done that.
Everybody was wearing masks. They actually had a capacity. They only had up to 25,000 each night.
Jeez.
For a 70,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, but they were all like next to each other. But we're getting past the point.
Next to, right. Sorry, little side note. Sorry.
But that's interesting. But no, yeah, like I want to say that the analogy, but I don't know if it's actually got racist annotations to it, so I won't say it. But yeah, again, duck. If you look like a duck, quack like a duck, I'm gonna call you a duck. Like, I'm sorry. Everyone else is going to call you a duck too.
Even if you are prejudiced, how does something like that come out of your mouth? Like, also calling people racist is getting old already. Soon it'll lose
how do
its
you
meaning.
not have a filter to be like, maybe I shouldn't say this thing? And I did find it interesting how in the previous stream of posts you guys did, he mentioned the Blood, the Crips, and biker gangs. Like, what? Biker gangs?
You mean Hell's Angels? I think that's one. That's a notable.
That's one. Biker gangs is a bunch. There's like so many different types of biker gangs.
Right, and like not even half of them are. Not even a vast majority of them are just white. Like there are lots of bikers that are people of color.
Correct.
Like,
but also like not even all of them are bad. They're just. I remember reading a bunch of posts about like some of these bikers, they actually go to courts with children that are talking about like sex abuse, and they're like, yeah, these are my friends. I'm not scared of this person anymore that abused me.
I'm going to cut you off, SJ, just real quick. I need to address this comment. From the very beginning of the video, I said, look, man, I'm not apologizing. I didn't apologize. I'm not apologizing to him. I called somebody a name last night because they were kind of calling us out last night, but I went a little too far, and I apologize for that. But I'm not going to apologize to him. I have flat out said, no, I don't like the guy. I don't like him. He's a jackass. I still think he's a jackass.
Yeah.
My opinion of him that he is a jackass, and I'm pretty sure he eats jackass O's and wears jackass brand shoes.
For me personally, I don't know the guy enough, so I really can't say anything. So I don't know. This is basically based on like all this, like just saying that part, you know, about like, oh, stop calling it racist. It's getting old and all that. Like, how tone deaf you have to be. Like, I don't think he thought that through. And another thing too, he said about like cancel culture and all that. Okay, we did a whole podcast about cancel culture. Yes. You know, there were some cases where it's pretty valid. There are others that aren't.
More than once, actually, I think.
Yeah, it's like
it's a pretty popular topic.
Yeah, cancel culture is it's a hit or miss kind of topic, you know. Mm-hmm. But like we said, I don't think we were trying to cancel or gatekeep. Like that doesn't make any sense. And I don't know if it's okay to say this, Goku, but it's like not the first time we tried to get we were getting canceled. Kind of didn't work.
No, fuck no, it's not the first time. Anime Matsuri's tried. Look how far that shit got.
Yep.
And that shit, that was on a bigger scale. That was on Houston Press, Houston Chronicle,
Yeah,
Oh,
even
was it?
all kinds
Yeah,
of anime websites. It's all over YouTube. It's
yeah.
So again, le gasp. We're gonna be canceled. Oh,
shit. You can try.
world's smallest violin.
You can try because first off, your
You can
fucking
try.
post already come off as racist. You could try to cancel
Yeah.
me. I'd be like, racista. I'm not. Look, I'm not this guy's friend. I'm never going to be his friend. I'm never going to apologize to him. He can come on the show and give his 2 cents, and I'll be respectful. There's a difference between respectful and liking the individual. I don't fucking like
Absolutely.
him. I don't want him to starve to death. But I don't eat. He can eat, but not at my table.
Right. But again, he in the post there he's making very specific of color. He's not talking
In general,
literal blanket statement in general. He is specifying the generality to of color. It's always criminals of color, like you said. Why isn't it just criminals, period? It's very specific. So again, sorry, not sorry. You're pulling some duck-like bullshit. So I'm
no,
gonna
fuck
call
that. Don't even say that. Don't even say that.
What?
Bullshit.
Oh.
Bullshit. Don't even say sorry, not sorry. Fuck that shit. Fuck
Okay.
that shit. No, sorry, not sorry, my ass. First off, like, listen, the way he made it seem like like they have no backbone. If I'm gonna square up to him at the next con. Look, man, I will never confront you at a con. I will not confront you. I won't step up to you. But if you step up to me,
Accurate.
we're gonna have a problem, sir.
Yeah.
We will have words, okay? I'm not gonna say anything that I'm gonna regret later on, but I will tell you this: we will have words, sir.
Right.
Damn, we forced this man to get on here.
Yay.
I am so sorry. I apologize to you, not this asshole.
Hey, how y'all doing? I had a couple of things to say, man. First of all, I love y'all, man. I'm just over here listening, and I was vibing out to you guys, and I was like, all right, I rock with this. I like listening to everything that y'all have to say. I always think that y'all give like a very unique opinion. This is the one day that I couldn't rock with y'all, though. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I mean, I get where y'all are coming from. I get being publicly in, I guess, in the media accepted, right? Like I understand that. I think that was the first platform that the Black Table tried to stand on, right? Especially with certain avenues that we went in order to get the Black Table to actually be posted like everywhere, like iHeartRadio, Spotify, et cetera, right? There's certain things you can't say, you can't have a mature audience and stuff like that. And we tried to do that. It worked for about 3 episodes. And then we decided, yeah, fuck that. I mean, we're just gonna be an explicit show, and we're gonna be labeled as one. We might as well say whatever the fuck we want, right?
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
Absolutely.
I don't even give insecure or like insincere apologies to people. I'm not even gonna say I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not even gonna say, I don't. It's not that I don't like the guy. He can come on the show and I'm gonna respect him. I've said it multiple times on the Black Table. You can come on the show if you want to. I'm not gonna respect you. I'm gonna treat you the same way, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna treat you the same way as Rogan treats you when you go on his podcast. If you say some stupid shit, I'm gonna call you out in the spot. If I feel like that's such an important thing, like that shouldn't be shifted, right? Because there's so much of shifting the conversation to different things. There's so much of being politically correct. Like like leftists are super politically correct, or centralists are super politically correct, and they wanna make sure that everything that they say is received well by everyone. Fuck that. At some point in time, someone has to say what needs to be said. Fuck racist. Fuck you if you have a racist opinion. You should not be allowed to continue to live in a society where other people are being judged, killed, berated, beaten, raped. Their entire livelihood, their humanity, their personification is stripped down from them, and you continue to do exactly what you want to do. It's not allowable. And at this point, right, like, I mean, listen, y'all, it's very rare that I take the glasses off, all right? That's when I get into my Denzel moment. It's very rare. All right, but let me say, like, there comes a time where you have to be ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're ready to fight, you have to pick a hill to die on. I've already picked my hill. I picked my hill a long time ago. I'm Huey Freeman from the Boondocks, dog. Like I'm here. All right. But if that's not your hill, bro, don't even entertain the conversation. Is my thing. This guy wants a conversation. This guy wants attention. Like even looking at the post, right? Like when you posted it on Facebook, I read it and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because I'm genuinely laughing at it. It's obvious, right? Like he wants attention. Why bring up the anime cons, not going to anime cons or not going to Matsuri or even bring up Geeks 5 Forever? You know what I'm saying? You wanted the clout.
Right.
You wanted the attention.
Right. Well, the only reason why I want to do the rebuttal is because not for him, because I could give a shit less. Obviously, I'm not like gonna go fucking fist fight the man unless he throws hands at me first.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry,
But
I got you, fam. You just I got you. Don't worry.
Trust me, I almost fought Baltier. I ain't afraid of nobody. But the thing is, he's got friends that are like they're gonna start, because we already have people that are spreading fake shit about us, about the whole Nazi bullshit that happened with Anime Matsuri.
And that's about to be it's been almost 3 years now already.
Yeah.
So to cover my ass, I'm like, look, this is what was said, this is what was posted, and now they're saying now their story has changed.
And I'll be real with you. I'll be real with you too, especially when it comes to, I mean, like you said, you're trying to overcome some of like the rumors and shit and the hate and stuff like that. I mean, I get that. I made a joke about Chris Brown literally yesterday. That shit happened 6 years ago. Like, I get that.
And we will never get tired. And we will never get tired.
The bass just came on.
Hello. Just no, but here's the thing. I admit it. I am very out there. I am very controversial. Everybody knows me. I say a lot of shit, and sometimes I say it without thinking.
True.
But here's the thing. I try to be fair though. I'm like, listen, I didn't, and if you watch, you can watch the podcast last night. I didn't say, look, and I literally say, don't cancel the man, don't gatekeep him. Like, help this man, inform him, let him know, like, look, because he has a bad fucking image. Like, because not everyone agrees with Black Lives Matter. I get that. Like, not everyone likes the group, but the message is what we're really trying to get out here. Yeah. And as a group, I'm not going to fucking, give you shit if you don't like the Black Lives Matter movement. But I feel like, look, this is an actual problem. We stand with Black Lives Matter, the message of it. And we have posted, we posted the hashtag Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate. We stand with, because I believe all life is sacred. So that's where I stand with it. And I've had people unfollow us, unfriend me. They don't talk to me anymore. And that's fucking fine. I don't fucking care. But I wasn't even bringing up race. I'm like, look, dude, you know what the kneeling's about? Yeah, it's because criminals of color don't want cops anymore. I'm like, you motherfucker.
That just goes to what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously looking for attention. I wouldn't have even given this the time of day.
My girl's trying to raise her hand, like, let me talk.
Look, because I'm trying to be that polite kid in class. But I will say this because, and I let me start with this.
Speak your truth.
I feel as though, and especially like he said, as content creators, you have to walk this kind of fine line of both publicity, both public image, et cetera, et cetera. But then, and this is why for me, and to anybody in the chat, or anybody who may watch this in the future, this is me saying this as an individual, because this is my feelings as over the last 5 years, the things that I have seen, especially in any political space. Dear white people, because I already know this motherfucker was white. I don't even know the situation, but I just know he was white.
He's Hispanic. He's very light skinned. He's very light toned.
Oh, he's a colonizer white. Okay. So with my, and because girl, I can really dig into.
Wait, isn't there a term for that though? Latina Blanca?
I think so.
No. You have some Hispanics Hispanic means you have Spanish blood, and Latino means you have native blood.
Okay. My bad.
So he might have native blood, he might not, because you can be Hispanic and Latino, but people from Brazil are Latino, but they're not Hispanic.
Got you.
Anyways, I want a Brazilian husband.
I'm both. I have Spanish and native blood. I have Aztec.
Girl, I got you.
And he is so fine. Oh my god. But one thing I would say, and this one goes out to the white Latinos and the white Hispanics, who choose to play the game and play the system that you know benefits you because of colorism, and and let me set up for this because I really do have a message for this shit. First off, let me start here. My big thing is, in regards to race, anti-blackness is always going to be a thing in America. You're not going to get rid of it. That's just not going to happen over a generation. To my white people, as a whole, it is not incumbent upon Black people, Latino people, anybody with any shade of melanin to get their shit together for you. That's number one. Number two, we do not owe you an explanation because all the explanation is around you. If you, in your whiteness, choose not to see it, that is incumbent on you to challenge yourself, to educate yourself and learn. And I will say this, you will have Black people and Latino people and Hispanic people and Asian people, Polynesian people who are willing to educate you and have the patience, which quite frankly is often not deserved, to deal with you, to educate you on where you're wrong. However, with that being said, you have to come from a place of humbleness to even get that modicum of respect. When you come off the way that you did, and I've seen this on Twitter especially, which I know is a hell haven, but nonetheless. But when you come off to Black people, to Latino people, to anybody who is a minority and say that, oh, criminals of color, first of all, that's the first, I'm not gonna lie, that's the first time I've heard somebody be so blunt with it. And I'm glad he was so blunt with it because that just, you outed yourself. And anybody who would make excuses as to what he might mean, you are also racist. Because one thing I would tell you, Black people understand, we get that shit quick, with a quickness. Because oftentimes, real shit, when they say criminals of color, they're not talking about Latinos, real shit. They're talking about Black people. Because anti-Blackness is a motherfucker. We are literally in the depths of a 3-week trial for George fucking Floyd, a brutal and blunt ass murder. I don't know where in the hell that some people have been. If you've been able to escape the realities that we have lived in the past 5 to 10 years, you got to be white. There's a certain level of being able to be distant from the reality that everyone lives in. Even from a class perspective, there's a level of dissonance. Because even rich Black folk, even rich Latino folk, they get it. We got folks coming from struggle who made it. They get it. The hell that people have to walk through just to be seen as valuable in a society that does not give value to them at all. Only for you to say, oh, well, the criminal is a color, because you couldn't do the bare goddamn research to understand that the system has been against us always and forever, and understand that the police state was literally for slavery. We had internment camps for Chinese people, Japanese people. We had, actually, and I'll let my Hispanic friends, if y'all want to speak to the issues in particular for the Hispanic community, because one, it's not my game, and I feel like I personally don't know enough. But I know even just with like the border situation.
Well, like the thing is, I there is a lot to say, especially on like being Latino. I just kind of don't want to get into that today.
Yeah, same.
I understand. Don't work yourself into that.
No, but the thing is, TJ has a point though about what happened yesterday, about the conversation we had, what happened yesterday. I honestly was almost not going to do this today. I was like, man, I'm too hungry to give a shit. Because honestly, we lost 5 followers. 5 followers, and we were almost at 1,200 followers.
And that's okay.
And you know what? That's fine because we lost 10 when we posted Black Lives Matter. We literally just posted hashtag Black Lives Matter, and bam, 10 people gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, people are fickle.
We posted Stop Asian Hate, bam, 7 people gone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There are more people that give a shit about these other hashtags than your little statement, sir. Because we lost 5 people and then we gained 1.
And it's that one that was willing to listen.
And here's the shitty thing. And I did, like, the conversation continued. I like, look, man, I do charities. I help out. We give food, or we do the Thanksgiving charity. We used to go to the hospital and cosplay. I'm actually trying to help make our community better, but I stand with the notion that Black lives do matter, that we should stop Asian hate, and like not all Latinos are criminals. Just because, you know, and I don't stand. I told him I don't stand with Blue Lives Matter, and I'll tell you why. Being a police officer is a choice.
Right.
Preach.
I'm not saying that all cops are bad. There are some good cops out there. No. There are some good cops that are trying to help the community.
Fuck that.
There are legitimately some good police officers that want to help the community. But the voices of the few, the voices of the many outweigh the voices of the few.
I mean, that's all good and well. So, like, here's the thing, though, right? And I'll say this right now so that it doesn't get lost in translation and it's still relevant for you guys. It's kind of unique that anyone has the opportunity to have a conducive conversation like this, where people are willing to listen, to sit down, have different viewpoints, and actually have a conversation. So I think this is a really good opportunity to say something like this. But you have two sides of the spectrum. Goku believes that there are cops that are good and out there trying to help the community. He's probably witnessed that. He's probably seen that. He probably knows people like that. And then you have like myself and my man's over here who are just like, no, there are no good fucking cops. So you can't convince me otherwise, regardless of how long we talk. We can talk until we're 17 different shades of blue in the face, and there are no good cops. And that's based on our experiences. The very unique thing here, though, and the reason why I point this out, is because regardless of what Goku says, regardless of what we say to Goku, nobody's going to change their mind. This conversation isn't going to change anyone's perspective of how they feel about cops. But at the end of the day, once we get done with this conversation, we're still going to get shot by cops. That's just going to happen today, statistically.
Right, and I agree. Like, and I agree and disagree with you a little bit.
No,
because I have
there's
to
no
say,
point in, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude or cut you off again. I know this is your house. I'm gonna be an asshole though for a little bit. Just on this point, just give it to me a little bit. There's no point of contention though. There's no disagreement. There's no room for it. It is April, right? Agreeable. Everybody recognizes it's April.
Yeah.
So
it's May. It's May, motherfucker.
Thank you. With the exception of February, there have been 30 days in every month, right? You'll give me that?
Yeah.
That concession? So we can do a little bit of quick math?
Yeah.
So 30 times 4 is 120 days, correct?
Yep.
There have been 341 black shootings by police officers in 2021. Statistically, it will happen today 3 times. There is no debating facts, dog. You can't say that you can't say that it's wrong. You can't say that I disagree. You don't disagree. You're ill-informed.
And I don't think that he even disagrees with that, because I know like me and Goku talk, like he understands that aspect of it. I think that like he's coming from the perspective.
I love Goku. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't want anybody else to misconstrue.
To get lost in the sauce. So
Yeah, no, that's not what he's saying. There's no point in it, right? Like it doesn't make sense. And I know that Goku knows that. That's my nigga. I mean, my vato.
My nigga.
Chill, bro.
I just wanted to say that I just like, it's not so much as disagree with your last statement. I agree with you that I agree, like in the sense that when people say I hate cops, man, I fucking hate cops too, dude.
They should all burn in hell.
I don't care if there are good cops. I fucking hate all cops.
We know cops and I hate them.
Look,
I hate all cops.
Look, I have family members. I actually have a family member who's a cop, and fuck him.
Yeah, and like answer this question. If somebody's family or somebody's that's a cop and they come around, don't you look at them like they're a snitch? Like,
Look, if they come around me,
it's a lockup. Get away from me.
Look, no, and
no habla inglés.
Real shit. I've actually had like some, you know what? It's so fucked up. But I had a friend who became a cop, still smoke weed, and I'm like, nigga, no, because you just signed up for the whole system. You want some Kamala Harris shit? Get the fuck out of my face with this shit,
right?
Because we ain't doing that shit out here. Like, granted, I understand, because it was like he joined right after that Graham situation, like with Houston. But I'm like, nigga, you can still lock other niggas up for like having too many grams in your car, like, and people are petty, so we ain't doing that. But to get to the next point, to kind of hit on the not all cops are good thing, basically, which I really want to dig into, because this is personally where I'm all in for abolish the police personally. Oh, absolutely. Only that. Because my thing is, like, as long as this system exists, which really, as it's shown itself in the last 2 years, police care more about capital than they do about people's lives. And that extends to white people. And white people, y'all need to recognize that too, because they will hurt you. They may not hurt you as hard as they hurt us, but they will hurt you. Like, let's not get it twisted. They will come for you after we are gone. If it ever gets to that point, and knowing America is possible, it's gonna be the blacks, it's gonna be the Latinos, it's gonna be the Asians. They're gonna go after the group that's the largest, second largest, and then third largest. But honestly, they might go for the black folks first, because anti-blackness preserves. But even on that note,
just to share some context with y'all, because I know TJ was here from the beginning, but I know Booty Warrior wasn't. Just to share, when I was commenting on his status, I said, you do know what the kneeling means, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on to say, it's a middle finger to the police, to the military, to the national anthem, because criminals of color, he actually does say criminals of color in the statement. I actually have it right here. A middle finger to the cops, the military, and the anthem, while ignoring what's going on in Chicago and other areas where black on black crime happen. Kneeling means you hate cops and want criminals of color to do whatever they want without cops.
I mean, real shit. And this is me speaking. Personally, I'm like, if all we doing is robbing, and we ain't like really hurt nobody, we ain't coming with no guns, we just like snatching shit, we getting shit out the store, fuck it, let it go. Because all these motherfucking corporations, they got money. They continue to have money. They exploit us, the workers. They have money.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't able, and like the rest of the conversation is actually very crucial, and I'm so stupid for not fucking screenshotting all of it. By the time I went back to screenshot it, he took down the post. He does say that he accuses me of being a socialist and supporting communism.
I mean, I feel like people who say stuff like that don't know what communism socialistic behavior is. They just kind of say things that are buzzwords to them.
Yeah.
If you receive any kind of government assistance or funding whatsoever and you live in the United States of America, congratulations. That's socialism.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that. And that's
he does accuse me of supporting criminals and being against police officers.
To be honest, I would.
But my issue was, why did he? And I even addressed this, like, why are you only addressing people of color as criminals? White people commit crime too.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they don't want to have that conversation, because if we really have that conversation, we can break this shit down real quick. Because we can go back. Look, that tea is hot.
Before we go back, can we repeat that real quick?
Look,
why does he? And I'll say it the same way I said it. Why was he referring to only criminals of color? Does he not understand that white people also commit crimes as well?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Look,
Booty, why can't I see your face?
Rewind.
You got no light. I need to see your beautiful face, boo.
That was so sweet. I almost got diabetes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on a diet. Can we stop with all the sweetness?
Look, Maybe it's rainbows in here. You ain't never gonna get rid of the sweetness.
And the fucked up part is, we don't say Mexican on Mexican crime, or we don't say white on white crime.
That's the hegemony. That does.
Yeah.
It's just fucking called crime.
Crime, baby, it's crime.
Oh, well, why are you singling out criminals of color?
Right.
Well, why are you trying to imply that I'm a racist? Well, because you say dumb shit.
You saying racist shit?
Look,
Yeah.
Racist get called racist.
I mean, that's wild, right? Like you.
As a white
say
person,
racist
I am
shit,
100% free of crime and very low on calories.
True to the first.
Alright.
I don't know about that second part.
Look.
For myself, not for Jace.
Oh,
I was saying
Oh.
I'm also pretty free from crime, but I don't think I'm low calorie. Sorry, guys.
okay, we gotta get your crime rate up. We ain't doing it right.
Oh, okay.
Look, we gotta go.
That's all right.
We gotta go to the corner store. We gotta snatch some
okay.
stuff. You know,
we like you like we like our steaks thick.
period. Look,
Awesome. All right.
look,
cool.
we gotta build your crime credit. You know, look, we gotta build your street credit. Okay.
That's a
No,
well,
she don't need street credit. She got good
thing.
credit. That's
Look,
we
That's
need to
another
bail
thing.
out.
There's no
Look.
Jew on Jew crime.
Well,
Let's
okay.
go.
Is there such a thing?
Well, I mean, okay. See,
Yes.
this is a conversation. This is a
Guys,
conversation
get
about
to the.
Point.
Right. No, but like honestly, if people say criminals of color, you're obviously going to draw a negative light on you.
Right.
And it's not, and I never once said that I could have said that he was racist, but I didn't say he was racist because I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
But let me ask you this, and this is how I try to come from it at a perspective. Whenever I engage with people like that online, it's that, and it's not necessarily for you to think about, but it's something that you present to them. How do I put this? Why is it beholden upon people of color to present reality to you? Why is it that you cannot step out of your comfort zone, step out of your bubble? As much as I see Republicans, liberal, centrist, all alike, do the so much for the tolerant, insert
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and cut you off there.
Okay.
Actually, there's another thing. Okay, there's another thing that I want both of y'all to address, and then I actually have to start wrapping it up. But there's in the statement that he posted online, calling us gatekeepers and trying to cancel culture him or cancel himself or cancel him. He does say this. He says also, calling people racist is getting old already. Soon it'll lose its meaning.
Well, girl, racism never stops, and racism always evolves. So while you may be tired of it, and again, to this person, bitch, you're white, you are never going to experience systematic racism. You are never going to experience violence at the police state. If you do, it's going to be so fucking late. No,
we don't know if he's white.
yeah.
We just know that he's very light-skinned Hispanic.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So carry on.
Let me ask you this: is he white, or not white, or is he like? Could he pass for white?
I mean, realistically,
he has Hispanic. He has Hispanic characteristics,
but he could.
But he's what we call weddle, which is very light-skinned, which means that he might have more European blood than anything else.
I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is with this guy specifically is that he's under the impression that racism is defined as something that it is
an action,
right? Like he thinks that racism is him actively like standing up and saying, "Oh, I hate black people." Like, no.
Right.
It's how you carry yourself. It's what you do. It's the lack of what you do. And he doesn't understand that. And at the same time, I think that it's mostly realistically when reading it, besides understanding that he just wants attention, and I think that he's saying this specifically to get attention. It also is just like I think he might be mentally impaired.
It's possible.
Not like
retarded, but like
not like stupid or anything like that.
But it's like his perspective on race is so out of touch with reality.
Yeah, he's not all there. Like something's missing. Like he hasn't got it yet.
Right.
I
And
don't say that to be an asshole, and I don't say it to be funny. Like I'm being real. Like,
No. You're fine.
No.
You're fine. You're fine. I have to do that once an hour.
But I'll say it to be an asshole, and I'll say it to be slightly sarcastic, but very seriously. Because my thing is like this: racism is one of those things where it's so ingrained in our culture and our society that it's not an act of activeness. It's an act of to fight against racism. It's an act of resistance. So you have to be active against racism because racism is very passive because it's so built in. So my thing is, for him, he's ironically normal in the American society. And I mean that in the sense that, rhetorically speaking, he fits in with a lot of America. Real shit. Because as much as I can see people on Facebook, as much as I can see people on Twitter, and not to go on a tangent, but like, just to give you like a example, like, we were having a conversation about, abolish the police. A lot of the same folks that were telling us that, we stand with Black Lives Matter, we shouldn't abolish the police, we should defund the police. And we had tried to explain that no, we need to abolish the police because if we keep this police force, defunding doesn't do shit because that money can always be added like a pay-go card. That's it. Like, and defunding the police when certain departments in this country get billions, not millions, billions. I'm sorry, I don't have time for that, and I would love to get that money because I would love another stimulus check or two. Like that'd be lovely. But like truthfully, a lot of that money, not Russia though, but a lot of that money that goes to police could be really funded back into the communities that they quote unquote are serving and protecting. Because a lot of and this is why it really rubs me the wrong way when people do this. Criminals of color or Black people or Latino people gotta just pick themselves up by the bootstraps, that bullshit. What bugs me about that is it doesn't address poverty. It does not address the challenges to get to X, Y, and Z. It doesn't address the obstacles in order to move up in society. So when I see people like do the no, defund the police, to me that's like, no, you're an actual obstacle. You're actually blocking justice. Because for me, it's unplugging the shit, but you can still plug that shit back in. Abolish that shit. Get rid of it. Toss that shit. Get rid of one of the main power structures that has continually and will continually oppress us. Because you can extend that to the military. But that's a whole nother conversation. So to tie it all back in, so when I see people like him talking the way that he does, he's no different to me than the standard liberal folk who love to perform social justice. But then when it comes down to it, when it actually comes to stand on their own 2 feet and stand in solidarity and camaraderie with Black folks and Latino folks, and actually be willing to take a challenge and risk some shit, and I don't see you at the front lines, no, I don't fuck with that.
Can we get some final statements from? We're gonna start with you, Buduwers, and your just final statements on the whole situation as a whole. Oh, he left. I guess he got kicked off. We'll start with TJ. Any final statements? Just to okay, I guess I'm getting confused now. People, okay. We're just gonna give some final statements on the individual. After we give our final statements, from this point forward, I will not address, I will not acknowledge, and I will not, and this is a big one for me, I will not help this person. We are the voice of the voiceless, but for the first time, I'm sorry, but you're going to stay voiceless.
Sorry.
No, because I'm not going to give you more attention. You could really actually feel genuinely offended by what I said, or you could just be seeking attention.
Either way, stay mad, ho.
I mean, what are your those are your final thoughts. All right. TJ, any final thoughts
on this guy? No, absolutely not.
No,
on the situation,
just overall,
be human. I say this all the time on the Black Table podcast. You should definitely come listen to us on Sundays whenever the hell we go live.
That's a good plug there. Good plug.
Sometimes we be at the right time. Sometimes we be on color people time. You never know. No, but I say this on the Black Table all the time. Be human to other humans. That's where it starts. And if you get that right, then it doesn't matter where else you're coming from. If everybody's coming from this very same standpoint of being human to other humans, it's very easy to get to the same finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. No, definitely. You're absolutely right. Booty Warrior, anything you wanted to say? I know you were joking around a minute ago, but for real though, anything you want to say?
To kind of touch on what he said, I agree entirely with that statement. I would add the caveat is that take the time to learn about the humans that you interact with, because everybody's got a story, everybody's got a struggle, everybody has gone through certain walks of life. You, dear viewer, have gone through your walk of life. And like I tell people, one thing I've learned in retail, you will learn about people's walk of life. So with that in mind, understand that everybody is going through something, everybody's going through their struggle, and everybody's taught a certain way, a different way. But remember that we are all human, we're all coming from different experiences. And sometimes the most painful thing for us to do is to unlearn bad behavior. And sometimes we will get called out, we will get dragged for our bad behavior. Hell, I might even have some bad behavior. I definitely do. But
so essentially what you're saying is essentially just to shed some light on what he's trying to say. The road to redemption is acknowledging the first step to the road to redemption is acknowledging what is wrong with yourself.
Is acknowledgement. The second step
is acceptance.
And then third
is moving forward.
And being able to go back to step 2 and 1, because that lesson is it's not a one-time lesson. It's not a one-time lesson. There will be many times where you have to relearn how to be a better person.
I have to agree with the comment. Once you go into retail, you learn the reality of society. But once you work at a pawn shop, you see the underbelly of society.
Well, facts.
Any final thoughts from Sonic? Any final thoughts?
No, like what these guys are saying, nail it in the head. It's just like the way this person wrote that post. I mean, obviously they had to address it, obviously, and all that, but there was a lot of things that made me go, you should have like double checked to what you were going to say, because I feel like this could potentially, I'm not saying it will, but maybe it will kind of blow up on his face. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of things that were like really tone deaf. You know what I mean? Like, but I will play devil's advocate here. To be fair, there is some points, about like whole cancel culture. Yeah, there are some valid cases of that. There's valid reasons why this person should get canceled. There are some valid reasons why this person should not get canceled. It's a whole, it's a mixed bag. It's a debatable thing. But
well, let me ask, if I can ask one question. What is like for you? What does canceling look like? Because I feel like that's where it gets into that gray area for me. Because
yeah, exactly. That's for me too. Like for me, I've seen like, for example, like people on Twitter be like making this thread like, oh, hashtag blank is over party because they did something or said something 5 years ago or 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that's, if anything, that's accountability. In which case, that should be easy and like, okay, I'm X person. I said this. That shit was fucked up. I apologize. And here's what I'm going to do going forward. And that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Like
it's just that should be it. But a lot of people will be like, whenever they announce, oh, hey, this guy's going to be in the movie. Well, do you know he did this 5 years ago? And I'm like, yeah, 5 years ago. Guess what? He's not doing that now. You know what I mean? It's a debatable thing. Yeah.
Right. And I said the same thing. Like, if you're still doing it, then yeah, absolutely cancel that bitch. But if you're not doing it, if you've grown, if you've seen the error of your ways, because most of y'all, because apparently I'm 100%
okay, so
free. Like, Yeah, we acted
Well,
dumb.
I want to get Sonic's final thoughts.
Yeah,
and then
sorry.
we'll go. You're next, SJ.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what I could tell is to this person, you just need to be better educated. We're not gatekeeping you. We're not trying to cancel you. Okay. We're not saying you should quit the cosplay community or quit Facebook and all that stuff. It's just like you just need to sometimes you just need a better, more from different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too is that if you have an issue with us, you're gonna say, "Oh, it's gonna bite us back in the ass," or and all this stuff. You could always talk to us. Our DMs are open. Our email, we drop our email all the time. Our message boards and all that. You could come talk to us. I'm sure most of us will probably be at a con in the future. If you recognize us, come talk to us face to face and tell us what exactly did we do wrong, or if anything, because as much as Goku said we will not mention this person, I feel like we're never going to hear the end of it. I have to be real with that. But at the end of the day, what I could say is this person, the stuff you said, yeah, on your end, you don't see it as a big deal, but for others, whole different person. As the old phrase goes, you won't know until you walk the mile in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I could say about that. If this person, personally, I don't know this person. I've seen him around. I don't say anything to him. I don't know. I have no issue with him. But, if you're going to attack us, sometimes you got to look at their perspective, and maybe you will understand. So that's all I got to say about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it does. Thank you so much. SJ, what are your final thoughts on the situation overall?
Overall, I think it's ridiculous. Like you said, treat humans like humans, and people shouldn't really say anything unless they know the whole story. And I know there's a bunch of different versions of the story. That's what history has taught us. The winners are the ones that write history. But you just shouldn't open your mouth about things you don't understand. It's one thing if you're like, hey, I'm trying to understand about this concept or situation or whatever. That's fine. Ask questions, learn something. Absolutely. Ask questions, learn something. But don't be like, oh, I already know everything, when it's like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. But I'm more of a lover than a fighter. So absolutely. Just treat people like people. Like, just stop. Don't literally look at this person. Just be like, no, that's wrong. Fuck. Humans as humans, period.
Holy shit. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I just looked at some time. Sorry. With that being said, sorry. Fuck. That was out of nowhere. Anyway, so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, SJ. Go ahead.
That was it.
Okay. So for those of you that are joining us, just like Sonic says, it might not go away. I believe it'll go away because honestly, like I expected I kind of expected more people to make a bigger deal out of it, but actually more people have made a bigger deal out of it on behalf of taking our side versus their side, because I actually showed screenshots. I actually showed everything that I had. I'm like, look, this is what they said. This is what I said. I'm not going to apologize. Fuck that bullshit. I will never apologize. I'm not going to apologize for what I said. I'm not going to apologize for calling this person a jackass for the way he acted with me, the way he said the shit that he said. We could have been civil. I tried to be nice. I said, don't cancel him. Don't bully him. Help him. I didn't say his name for a reason, but then, I lost my shit. I'm not going to apologize for any of that bullshit. But I will say this, sir. If you ever see this, you ever have a problem with Geeks Forever, you can talk to me. I'm not going to walk away from you. I'm going to be like Ed Wunsler. What Ed Wunsler once said to Tom Dubois in the Boondocks. Now, we can either settle this like gentlemen, or we can get into some real gangster shit.
Come on, gangster shit was good.
If you hear rumors about us, approach us. We will tell you. I will not say anything about you I'm not willing to say to your face.
Perfect.
If I call you a punk ass bitch, I will call you a punk ass bitch to your face.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten my ass whooped for far less, for a bar of Snickers. With that being said, make sure I want to thank SJ and Sonic for coming on here. It was supposed to be we normally don't do podcasts on Tuesdays, but this was just kind of last minute thing. Thanks to TJ from the Black Table podcast. The Black Table is one of the coolest, one of the most controversial, one of the best, most influential, one of the funniest podcasts I've ever seen on Sundays. Make sure you check them out. They start on Colored People Time. Who knows when that is, but you'll get a notification when they go live. Make sure you follow their channel on Facebook at facebook.com/The Black Table Podcast and hit the notification so you can be notified when they go live, because even I don't know when they go live. I just check it out and then say something stupid, and then I just listen to them for the rest of my workout. They cover all kinds of great and controversial topics that a lot of people won't cover. We usually cover some of them, but we have to stick to like the geek culture as a overview. Also want to thank Booty Warrior, the residential gay member of Geeks5E, for joining us today.
Disclaimer, I did not choose this name. This name was foisted upon me.
Wait, which one? The gay one or the Booty Warrior one?
I mean, by both definitions, they're both gay. So I mean,
no, when you signed up with Geeks5E, I'm like, hey, would you like to be the gay representative of Geeks5E? You're like, fuck yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with being a gay representative.
Do you want do you want a new name?
I mean, Mina works.
Okay, Mina. That's my girl.
Nah,
Mina.
you Booty Warrior.
Nope.
No, you Booty Warrior.
He
I'm
don't
a
want.
bottom though. I'm a bottom.
Everyone gets their nicknames based on their reputation.
He don't want that
what they-
name though.
No, he doesn't want to be known as the gay residential member of Geeks5E. He just wants to be known as Mina, the Booty Warrior.
Oh my god.
Okay. I mean, if you can find me another name that is bottom related,
We'll call you Mina. We'll call you Mina every now and then.
Okay.
Shout out to Lio Convoy's reviews on YouTube. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. It's actually really cool and very informative. He has a special video about anime Matsuri, and Geeks5E is mentioned in the video. So make sure you check him out. If you're just joining us, thank you for checking us out. Unfortunately, the video is over, so you can check the recap. It'll come out soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow for our Power Hour, and Night Mage will be joining us on Friday. Also, quick announcement, quick plug.
Yes.
We are going to do a contest, and we are going to be giving away a cash prize. Well, maybe not cash, maybe PayPal.
We'll see.
But we're going to be giving
figure it
out 2 badges to Delta HCon in Houston, Texas. 2 badges.
2.
So we're actually looking for ideas for the contest. So if you actually have an idea on what kind of online contest we can have, let us know.
Let us know.
Hit us up at Geeks5E.
Yeah, let us know, and then we'll make an announcement about it. We'll probably do like a little promotional post or something like that about it.
That's right. We are doing the contest because we know we know a lot of people want to go to Delta, but some people can't afford it. So we're going to do this as a way to help the community.
Exactly. Make it some shit I can win. Make it a fist fight.
Really, losing a couple of teeth for a con. Wow, says that's loyalty right there.
TJ got them. He got them. He got speed. That's what he got. I'm pretty fast though, man. You can't. I got them perch snatching hands, and I don't know if you're that fast.
He says the perch snatching hands.
Everybody say that, man. But then they get into the ring, and then they find out that you ain't got mad speed, man.
Yeah, I don't have mad speed. What I have though is I got meat hooks. I got the power of the punch. I used to actually fight in MMA, so I actually know how to throw, like actually hurt somebody with a punch.
I can only spar.
Mr. Krabs and Bowser combined.
Hey, look, these meat hooks aren't just for attracting mates. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:00 for our Power Hour. No, thank you so much for the Black Table Podcast, for TJ and Don, who joined us yesterday. And thank you to Booty Warrior, who is a member of Geeks5E.
Yeah, I saw that.
Goes with us to the con at all times. All right, guys. Have a classy night. And please, for the love of God, wear a mask. Peace.